Let's go. Bam, we're live. I
Hello.
think we're live.
We are live.
I'm not usually in charge of that.
Well, first and foremost, I love those pictures behind you.
Yeah.
Those are so pretty.
But this is a good spot for me, so I was like, well, I'm not changing it now.
Yeah. No, those are so pretty.
It's from our wedding, like, I got 3 stills and did like the small wood.
Mm-hmm.
Or like ads, but yeah, so I love them.
How was the 4th of July weekend? We got beat up. We were beat up, dude. Like, it wasn't even funny. The deli was crazy. LeBron James was out here.
Town was nuts. People can't drive.
It was a hot one, but it was good. Spent with family and out on the lake, and just a really good time. So can't complain here. So
You barbecue it?
yeah, we do. So my parents actually live on the lake here, so they do, barbecue the whole thing, and so we go out and swim and spend time on the lake and just have all the whole family gets together, and everybody's kids, and so it's wonderful.
That's
Just
awesome.
outside
Yeah.
and busy.
And then we have a local Marriott here that has like a water slide.
Oh,
So Tyler and I have like come up with this tradition to get a room there every 4th of July, because they so it's like, it has a big tower that has this restaurant that rotates 360, so you can go there. But also the Marriott shoots fireworks. And so we get a hotel room there every year. So we take the kids during the day, then bring them back home, put them to bed, then, go and eat and watch fireworks. And so it's like a whole, and then so like we skipped church this morning and took them to back to the pool this morning, and all that. It was fun. So
that is very fun.
yeah.
That's awesome. We we just got our butts kicked, and then
The parade was huge. My father comes and visits every 4th of July. At least he has for the last, I think this was his 3rd year that he's come here. Him and his girlfriend come. So my father is a Vietnam vet. I don't know if I've ever told you that. So he comes 4th of July, the big, huge 4th of July parade. Like, it's a big deal. I'm hoping next year he'll actually go walk in the parade with them. But he had a stroke a couple of years ago. And ever since he had the stroke, he really just doesn't want to be away from his girlfriend, really doesn't want to be, front and center anymore. Like, he used to color guard years ago. It was in every parade, a part of everything, did the barbecues, did the, what was it, like the clam dinners and the fish fries and all the type of stuff and whatever. And so it's nice to see him come down here. We took him to a Long Island Ducks game that's where we saw the fireworks.
It's baseball. It's like
a baseball game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw y'all did the parade on your story. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did great.
Little G was in the parade for the first time. Loved it.
And my dumbass, I'm walking the parade route so he can see me, to make sure that he's okay and doesn't like have a meltdown and just whatever. And I was like, you were fine. I do not have to do this next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's good on you, though.
It was great. Please let me introduce 9-time regionals athlete, USA Olympic weightlifting, mom of 3, wife, Sara Beth Jumper. Like,
the badass herself.
Yeah, like nobody cooler than you. But like the whole walking beside him, right? I knew he would probably be fine, but for me, I was like, okay, I want to make sure he is fine. Like, God forbid something happens.
Yeah. No, I would have done the same thing. Yeah.
And so I was just kind of thinking about the Annie Thorisdottir thing. Did you see that?
I watched it.
Okay. And whatever, CrossFit aside, the thing that caught me the most was when she said, like, I don't want to die for CrossFit. I remember having, like, when we first had him, and then we went, or Colleen and him, they were trying to drive up to Utica by themselves. I had to work. And they got into an accident with a big ass truck. And that kind of changed my mindset after that. Then I was like nervous about no unnecessary risks.
Right.
We're not getting a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm not going bungee jumping. I'm not doing anything unnecessary where something might happen to me to where I can't be with my kid.
Right.
And part of me thinks that that's what she's going through. She had her one baby, the tragedy at the games last year, and now she's just like, no, everything in the world is bad, which is a dangerous place to be.
Yeah. So I was on her grid league team. So very close with her, know her very well. And we try to exchange, pleasantries multiple times a year. But and she's like an amazing human, obviously. And she is very, very close with Dave and the whole team. And she always has been. So when Grid League first came out, there, I don't know if y'all know, but so there were emails sent to the top people that were doing the Grid League because all the athletes were jumping in.
Yep.
And so at the very beginning, I know the top athletes, and especially the ones that were on seminar staff, got emails that were like, y'all, you need to choose because this is not, we're not doing.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that for a fact. And so basically after her first year, she had to basically she wanted to do it so bad, but her loyalty obviously was with CrossFit. And so her and Frederick became coaches of our team. But they were there. I mean, they were in it with us. Absolutely. And she would have competed if she could have. But so her loyalty's always been with CrossFit. And I will say that first and foremost, she's, ride or die CrossFit. And, maybe, maybe with her having children, it has changed something with her. It definitely does. It changes you. You are
right.
Forever changed. But it did shock me that she was on that letter, especially with Dave. And I don't know where her head was at with that. To me, outside in, of course, it would have been a horribly tragic situation, but I was completely shocked that she would have put her name behind that, just knowing her and Dave's history. And they're tight. They're so close. So I was just shocked, but I think it was just the little things that kept adding up over year after year. And then she was just screw it. This is, they're not looking out. This from my perspective, she was saying they're not looking out for us. So we've got to make a change and we got to do something. And I think she just wanted somebody to be held accountable to. But this is all I'm having.
Yeah. We're having a conversation.
But yeah, to me, it was very shocking that she took that route. But at the same time, I'm not in her shoes. And I mean, even when I was competing, there were a few years that I just felt on the floor, I just got completely screwed, by a few judges or whatever. And maybe that was me being a victim, at the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking this sport does not care about me at all. And my whole season, my whole year, everything rides on one weekend of regionals. When regionals was you had to go there, you had to perform, you had to to make it to the games. And it was just one little slip up and you didn't make it. So and then there were times that I thought this sport, they do not give two craps about me. I should probably move on, but I love it. Just keep coming back. But
do you think that's every sport though? I kind of feel like that if you don't make it to the combine for football and you don't get to have your interviews or you're sick or you're hurt for that and then you don't get drafted, or even tennis is another good one that's you work all year and then the season comes around, you get hurt, you don't get enough points, you don't get to go to the big stage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all sports.
Yeah, but I think CrossFit has given her everything too. you know, she's worked her butt off for everything, but at the same time, it's given her everything as well. And I just think she got to a point where she probably just wants to see change. But like I said, I was just kind of like really shocked that she, because of her history with Dave, just, and I love her and Dave both like to death. So it's interesting.
It's funny. Do you think that the change that she might want to see is like the guarantee that they'll never get hurt and nothing bad will ever happen to them? Because like she did have a kid and she does want that reassurance. Hey, nothing bad's ever going to happen to me because I have to come home to this kid. And and now she's got two, and you know, and that reassurance in anything in life, you're never going to get.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I think they were all in an emotional, like you're in an emotional state.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. And it's very touchy because like, you know, the year, they did Murph, she had a heat stroke, and like, there's been times I think that she's come out and said that, you know, they had promised them to have like ice machines and like ice at certain places in like StubHub Center or in Madison, and like it never shows up. And so, you know, these little things over time have added up to like,
They just did something. Dents just put something out. I think maybe Sousa talked about it, but
I have to watch Sousa's show after. Yeah, I think he breaks it down a little bit.
She said something in there about how she didn't get water. She was offered water. People tried to give her water, and she was like, "Nah, get away from me." And so it's like it was almost kind of like, "What? Well, what is it? Are you so mad now at CrossFit that you're just gonna say whatever?" Or are you like just either be mad and just be mad in an emotional state, but don't say that like nobody tried to help you or nobody was there for you or there was no water.
yeah. And I think, like I said, I think they were all in an emotional place. But should there have been more lifeguards? I mean, yes, like we know that there should have been more people in the area. Like yes, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and there should have been more maybe should have been more safety measures in place. But it's
Oh, you are so fun. Colleen and I just talked about this the other day. So let's say everything went right with like you had all of the whatever the safety measures were that you wanted.
A certain number of lifeguards.
Yeah,
maybe there was. I know at one point they were supposed to go and follow like a path. Like they were supposed to go from the start to like a buoy, I think, and you were supposed to stay on one side of the buoy. And then Dave was like, fuck it, we're just going to open up the whole thing. So I suggested, what if they had put like a rope, like, you know, those separatists that do for the lanes for swimming?
Yeah.
Like put the buoys out there and you have to stay within those two lanes. And it sucks if there's four of you that are fighting to stay in there. Like make it wide enough so enough people can fit across, but you have to stay between those, because if I've got which is what happened, you've got, you know, Jeff Adler, Patrick Vonner going all the way out that way. And then you have those eyes going that way. You've got 10 people coming this way and you've got 3 other going that way. Like the lake is way too big for that. Like, let's keep it very, very secure. So you got the lifeguards, you have that. You have,
let's say you have jet skis in the water, and
maybe you don't go maybe you don't go that way where the sun is coming up. Maybe you go the other way where the sun is behind you. Like, okay, fine. You want to like switch everything around, and like whatever that is, whatever that ideal checklist is of safety. And then go ahead, baby. You were gonna say.
Does that guarantee that nothing happens in that water? Like life happens. The perfect, like you can walk around town and if you have the amount of cops out that you want, and you have your cell phone and you have pepper spray and you have a concealed carry, but like life happens. Just because there's no guarantee that even if they had everything that they feel like they wanted to have on that lake, that something bad, everything had to line up perfectly for that shit to happen. Sadly, it's absolutely tragic.
Absolutely. But it's like, you know, there's deaths in other sports like every day. And I'm not excusing this, but it's just like it does happen. And like, who would have thought the best swimmer in the whole thing would have this would have happened to him. No one would have thought that at all. Like, no matter how hard he pushed, like, oh, he's going to be fine in the water. But I will say, I mean, and even Chase and Bill, I think they talked about having like, having like something on their backs or like the floaties or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
something still could have happened. But I do, and like in another side of this is there was this whole thing. I know in years past where like if you took the help, you would have gotten disqualified.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what it was. We've talked about that too.
uh,
The minimum work requirement and stuff like that.
yeah, and I think like maybe even like Deborah Cordner Carson, like early on in the years, like she was one, she could swim, but she was just really slow and she knew it in the ocean. And like I think she came on record and was like, well, I didn't want to take the help because like I didn't want to be disqualified, but I knew I was going to be slow. And there was times where I thought I was going to drown. So, I mean, it's been this, like, you can't take the help or you're going to be out.
Yeah. And I get that. And as an athlete, you don't want to get DQ'd for the whole weekend.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't agree with something like that though. Like, I think that there's so many other ways that someone could, because they're saying like it's not fair. Like, it's not fair if someone got help well, okay, get it. If I finish the race, if I do the entire thing and I finish the race and you don't, of course you're going to be more rested than I am.
Yeah.
But there needs to be something, points, time, if you ask for help, if you hold on to, the buoy, or you get on the jet ski and get out of the water, you there's an extensive penalty. You can still continue on in the competition. There's always cuts by the end of the day, the last day or whatever, like they're cut down to what, 20 people? Like, you're not going to make the cuts you're still going to be penalized for it. But this idea that you can't ask for help, you can't get help, especially in water, because water's not forgiving.
Yeah.
The gravel's forgiving,
I don't know if it was a written rule, and maybe it was, but
yeah,
it's still this culture of like, well, if you ask for the help, you're going to be disqualified. Like, if you like,
mm-hmm.
So, which, I mean, I know, like, I don't think that would ever be the case these days, but I do know that, like, but I feel like that was kind of like how CrossFit was kind of back in the day. Like, you don't get water during the workout. You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, like it was
rough and tumble, like, muddy, gritty, yeah.
Yeah, and we're tough. We're gonna do this. So I feel like there has to be this
disqualified but alive.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it needs to be
so
something as severe as that.
Line, and I don't think that the athletes knew the line. I think that they were more scared of anything. Like, if I ask for help, then this is gonna ruin my whole weekend. Like, I'm out. Like.
Yeah, and you've also heard athletes say, like, was it Matt Frazier? Was it someone on the men's field?
Mm-hmm.
It might have been Matt during Murph that was like, if I pass out, don't take my vest off, because that's what was one of the things. If you take your vest off at any point within the event,
oh shit, yeah,
you will be disqualified, or you will, whatever. And like, so athletes are saying that, like, even if I'm laid out, don't touch my vest.
Yeah, and I think he even said that he thought Dave had mentioned to them, if you take the water during Murph. So I think you can see him. I think he has it or something. He throws it. Because he thought like,
or I think it was like Dave said, there's a cooler of water back there. Oh, and yeah. and I don't know, and I don't remember if Dave said something or Matt assumed, well, fuck, you're not going to get me because I'm not going to go all the way back there and then possibly get penalized for something like that. So it was like Dave was offering, was there a clear communication? I think this all goes back to like communication.
But remember, this was all before they had kids. This was before Annie had kids. This was before Matt had kids. It was before Pat had kids. It was before Fikowski had kids.
And that is true. That, I mean, there might be a correlation there.
It just like
you feel your mortality in a way that you never have after having a kid. And it completely changes your perspective on life. I mean, that is one of the reasons why her and I kind of like got shaken up a little bit of like, oh shit, we need to look at this world a little bit differently outside of ourselves because we have a child.
This comment that Jerry made, disqualified but alive, is crazy comment.
Yeah.
You like, but if you have a kid, you're like, yo, I'm grabbing whatever buoy I got to grab, and I'm drinking whatever water, and I'm taking whatever ice I got to take. But if you don't have kids and you haven't started that yet, you're just trying to make your money and make your place in this world so that you can provide later on. You don't think about.
Yep. And I will say, nothing against you, Garrett, but like I bet Colleen can attest to this. Like when you're pregnant and you have a baby, like I feel like your body just does this over time, and like it's like completely natural, and like you just ease into it, and like this is how your life is now, and you're constantly like you said Garrett, you said you had the car wreck and it like snapped something in you, but like I swear, like the second you're pregnant and you have that child, like something in your brain changes, and you're constantly. It's not like extreme anxiety, but it's like all these what ifs are running through your head.
Oh no, I had extreme anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, like me personally, I had extreme anxiety. My form of postpartum was like separation anxiety from my son. Like I could not leave him. I was terrified to be away from him, to be away from her. Like I just had this immense feeling like something is going to happen. Like and that's why it was difficult for me to send him to preschool. When he went to preschool, I completely broke down when we dropped him off for preschool. But also remember, this is COVID time.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go in the building, and it was all this like, so that I obviously added another layer. Thank God he was with amazing people. But that feeling of like my kid is away from me and I can't do anything to protect him right there. You know what I mean? So I love that you were like, you kind of just ease into it. No, mine was a full blown, like smack me in the face, run into the wall kind of feeling.
Like I had, I guess when I had Jack, like I would just have like these images of like like a kettlebell dropping on his head.
Yep.
Like just like these crazy things.
Yeah.
That would never happen.
I'm driving and I can see a car hitting me, or I can see myself going into it. And I'm like, what? This is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
This is insanity. But yeah, you definitely change. Your world changes when you become a mom.
Like that. The more I've like read and thought about it or done like research about it, I do feel like it's God's like perfect design, and it does change our mom brain like into something like very protective. I did read that anxiety or those like images that you see are actually protective mechanisms. So say you're like walking down the stairs with your baby and like you see yourself falling, and like, that it's actually like protective for your brain to take extra caution for those things not to happen.
Okay.
It helped me. Like I read that somewhere and I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, okay, you would actually hold on to the railing or, do extra things or go a little slower than you would.
Not carry something else with you. Focus on one thing at a time. Go up and down the stairs more than once. Like, yeah.
So it actually serves a bigger purpose. And I'm like, that is like, yes, it's annoying at times, but at the same time, I do feel like it does serve a protective mechanism. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Yes.
Let me say hi. What's up, Katie? What's up, lady?
Annie did talk about, with her first, she had lots of the, intrusive thoughts and the didn't want to be separated either. I mean,
yep.
I think
can they go overboard?
Yeah.
Can they go overboard with those fears? Like those fears can go overboard to the point where like you won't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to do anything again. You're never going to go to a freaking grocery store because you're afraid it's going to get robbed. You're never going to go to the park because you're afraid your kid's going to get stolen. You're never going to do anything.
Yes.
And that's even more detrimental.
When I think for me, that comes back to my faith. I mean, I have to like trust that the Lord has got us at all times and is leading and guiding us how we should, we should the path that we should take, and that includes me being a mom, and I mean it includes me not being stupid,
yeah, choices, yeah.
Like I do, you have to have some. To me, I have to be rooted and grounded in the Lord, and know like He's got us, and no matter what comes our way, it's going to be okay. He's holding us. For me personally, so
yeah,
What's up, Steve Miller? Going on,
hey.
the original, the OG.
The OG. Yeah, it was, and I think that it goes back to that whole idea of believing, like, I actually believed those things. I actually believed that those.
Sorry, hold on to that.
Yeah.
Kenneth the Lap, the summer camp in Texas that flooded this weekend. It
Yeah.
happens. You don't.
Devastating. Those kids, devastating.
Horrible.
And all they did was, and this is probably some of their 4, 5, 6 time that they've gone to this summer camp. Like it was like every other freaking summer, and they go down and this happens.
Yes, tragic. Like
there was a tornado or a really bad storm up where I used to live, and we don't get shit up in upstate New York like that. And it went through not the town that I grew up in, but like a neighboring town, and went straight through this town. First time they've ever seen something like this. And a tree fell on a house where 2 twins were sleeping and killed the 2 twins. Who would have thought that? They literally were sleeping in their own bed in the safety of their own home, protected, and this tree fell from this storm, and they passed away.
So do you stop sending your kids camping?
Right. No. Yeah. Right. I mean,
I know.
It sucks. It's horrible.
Tough. It's really hard.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's really, really hard. But if not for anything, that's one thing that I can, thank meeting different minded people, I think, and really growing and, healing myself, growing as a person, her and I growing as a couple and in our marriage, and then growing as parents. I think there's that balance and that fine line between doing the scary thing, because eventually we're not going to be here, and we're raising our son to be an adult one day, to be a teenager one day. And, and I want to give my son more than my parents gave me. And not saying that we're going to, as we were just talking about, I'm not going to be able to stop things from happening, but what I can do is I can do the best that I can to set up all those roadmaps for him, so that he knows, hey, there's a turn coming. Hey, there's construction coming. Hey, there's something that's not good. That's
coping.
Like
I can teaching him coping mechanisms.
Yeah, and emotional regulation too is a big one. Like being able to see that not everything goes the way that you want, but all we can do is give each other tools and guidance and support in whatever that looks like. And terrifying as it is, even to this day, there's some things that I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that, and I still kind of challenge him to go do things that make me and him uncomfortable, And
I mean, I don't believe in coincidences. I can't even say that word.
Coincidences.
There's a reason, to me. In the Bible, it says, do not be afraid 365 times. Do not fear 365 times. So like they say, 1 for every day of the year. So I fully believe that the Lord wants us to believe that, like, He is always with us, that we will walk through the valley of the shadow of death. There will be bad things that happen here, but He is always with us, and He will never leave us. Like, there are very, very bad things that you will experience on this earth, but like, He will never stop holding your hand. He will never leave you alone. And
yes, I'm with you, Steve Miller. Yes.
I just don't go on hot air balloons or jump out of a functioning planes is about all you can really do. I know I wanted to go skydiving.
Nope. No.
And I had a small window before we got
You
pregnant.
Didn't even have that.
And then you made me believe that I did.
Yeah, you did. You might have thought you had a choice, but you weren't going.
I wanted a crotch rocket. I wanted a bike.
No,
not a Harley Davidson. I wanted like a speed bike, a crotch rocket. And,
like one of the Hondas.
Yeah. And my wife said,
nope.
If we're going to get married, you're not getting one. It's not all right. Well, I guess I'm going to get married.
And that brings me to another point. The last time that we talked, and I didn't even know this about you, and it was crazy that I found this out, but you started gymnastics at like 4 or 5 years old, and you ended up like your coach didn't you work out with like Bella Caroli? And
so like I was basically approaching the elite level when I was very little, 9 or 10 years old. And so my parents were going to send me to Texas, like to Bella Crowley's camp, like possibly one summer. And, you know, so that was like on the table for my parents. I never actually did, but I did. I mean, I traveled the United States competing a lot and went to other camps like in Georgia and things like that. But yeah. And you know, like we talked last time, like my coach ended up being, went to prison.
Yeah, for molesting little girls.
So, and it was all of like my training people. So it definitely hit home when it came out like 4 or 5 years later. And just, yeah. But, you know, like I said, I'm in like small town Alabama, like where all is this happening? And yeah, it makes you, and definitely as a mother now, I'm like, oh my goodness, this world is scary.
So do you not, if your daughters want to do gymnastics, or your son wants to do gymnastics, because something bad happened a certain period of time, are you not going to let them go to do gymnastics?
I mean, I definitely want them in gymnastics, you know, like I do think it had, like it made me the person I am today for sure. But, yeah, it would have to be, Mama might have to go if we go to a training camp or something.
Yeah.
No, it's just, and not that it's like a different world, but I feel like it is like, I don't know. I feel like I was outside all this, my whole summer, and like my mom wouldn't check up on me. Like,
yeah.
Thank you. I'm like, my mom was the best, but like, I feel like I was outside for hours at a time, and like she, you know, she was like, come in at dinner, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have phones. Like,
yeah.
we were in the neighborhood. We went all over the place. We went in the cotton fields, like just like we met people. We just rode our bikes.
And didn't you go to Russia by yourself?
Yes, so I did. There was 5 of us girls, and we traveled with 3 coaches, or 2 coaches and a trainer, to a camp over there. Like,
how old were you?
12.
Yeah, no way. There's no way my kid's going to Russia for a camp by himself. No fucking way. Nope.
Yeah, it was something. But yeah, like my coach, like he became like a second father. That's what it was kind of like devastating when all this came out too, because I wanted his approval. I didn't know what was happening, but I still wanted his approval. Like I wanted his like stamp of like, you're doing a good job always.
Yeah.
But it's wild. Like,
and nothing weird happened in Russia, because for me, weird shit happened for me in Brazil. Like the minute I went outside the country, weird shit happened.
No, and I like this cohort of people. We were maybe a year younger than that group. The group that like it came out like that things were happening. So I don't know if it was because we were a year or 2 younger than this group of girls.
Oh,
like, you know, what was going on in his head? Like, just I don't know.
Yeah.
But just yeah, like, and like I said, he took me in that back room one time because my back was hurting, and I think he was gonna rub like biofreeze on there, and he wanted me to take my leotard down and like lay flat on the thing, and like I don't think that he saw anything, and like, why did I do that? Like, what?
As at that age, you don't know.
Right. You don't. And then, so, and he just got like a little too close over here, and I just felt like super uncomfortable. So I just knew I was not going to go in that back room ever again. Like I just had this feeling, and, that was it. Like, I was like, I don't care if my back's broken. I'm not going in that room.
Right.
I'm not doing it. And no matter how much attention I want or whatever, as a 11, 12-year-old, you know, so.
We talked about it before. Like your body knows that it's not right before your brain can comprehend it at that age. Like
Yeah.
the initial response from your body, like as a kid, you should listen to, and you kind of do, but you don't know exactly how to. But it's your parental figure, but it's like your coach or your whatever, and you don't know what to freaking do after that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like I didn't talk to anybody else, but I knew all my, cohorts were going in there as well. Like, so
did you ever talk to anybody else after everything came out?
no, because we were all like in college by that time. So like,
Oh,
got to actually have now. If I saw them again, I would definitely have to bring it up. Like, what was like, but
what
I
happened?
haven't, and they've moved off. So but it is like it was devastating because like these were my carpool girls. Like our parents would always carpool, and it was just like we were really close. Two of the girls were sisters. They lived down the street from us. And so we played all the time. I mean, we were together
Great.
4 or 5 hours a day. So it's like, crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here. Um, did you see the Simone Biles and Riley Gaines kind of back and forth that just happened?
Oh yes. Yeah. Crazy.
I'm totally pro Riley on that one.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so, but I felt bad for Simone Biles because she went through everything she went through with Larry Nasser and all that weirdo stuff and disgusting ass shit. And she's been taught that she is like a part of a marginalized group for her entire life. And then she goes through that. So now she's even more of a victim because she went through that. And she's always been able to play that card. It's like, oh, you can't talk to Simone Biles like that. You can't like push her like that because she's been through X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And at some point that card goes away. It's like, yeah, I get it, and I feel horrible, and you should have never had to experience that as a kid, ever. Like, nothing should have happened to you like that. You should have been able to go do gymnastics, train for gymnastics, and feel safe and do your thing.
Yes. For sure.
But for her, like, it's to me, it was just like, oh my God, she's so ingrained that she's willing to protect men and women's sports.
Yeah, I think
Like, it was crazy to me.
well, you can just see, like, sometimes you can just see people that are awake and that are not. And it's just, that's to me, like, that's just, she's like not awake as
I
far
was
as,
like, oh,
and
girl.
it's unfortunate because, like, I feel like so many people look up to her and see her as this huge role model.
Yeah.
And for her, to me, if you're not going to protect, like, you are the pinnacle of your sport, and you're not going to protect that.
And you went through that. How do you go through something like that?
I don't know.
And then, like, I had to do so many mental gymnastics, pardon the pun or whatever, but how is she wrapping her mind around that?
Yep.
Like, you went through it for years. It wasn't like it was, and once is too many times, but you went through it for years.
Yeah. It's and it's really unfortunate that she took that stance too. It's like, why did you didn't have to even say anything. Like,
Or you could have just reached out privately to Riley. I'm sure that
yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And she doubled down on it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then tried to backtrack and then just cut off her Instagram.
During her apology, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I want, yeah. And until she comes to that realization, like, I feel like a lot of things are like, you're not going to wake up to these things until you do. A lot of things, it's like, there's nothing somebody's going to say to you until you, like, kind of, it's like through COVID. And for me, it was like, I had a huge awakening through COVID, and like,
So do we.
vaccinations and just the whole world, like, oh my goodness. So, and
Yeah, that was something.
That I had to see it because I was so indoctrinated from nurse practitioner school and the whole medical world, like, and it's just, I had to experience it for myself and see my child and know, okay, like something's not right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. You vaccinated your first one, but then the other two aren't, right?
Yeah, I vaccinated my first one through 12 months, and then the others are not. Yeah. So
And no, you didn't get them the 49ers vaccine, the COVID vaccine.
no.
Yep.
No
Nope.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did not either. There was no way. I was like, I shouldn't have gotten it, but I also listened to people that I thought were, but then when they came out with the kids one, I was like, I don't even like the fucking flu shot, and I'm
Yep.
out here getting random shot like now.
Yeah, that's they've removed it for pregnant women and kids now.
Oh, the flu shot?
No, the COVID.
Oh, because they tried to scare Colleen into, or they did scare Colleen into the
I
flu
took
shot.
the flu shot when
Yeah.
I was pregnant. And that was the first time I took it in years. And I took it because he was like, if you get the flu with your kid, something could happen. You could get seriously ill or, worse. The child. And I was like, say no more. Took my arm out. I was like, jab me up, man. It's taken 2 years to get pregnant with this boy. Like,
Right.
go ahead. And then I just was finishing my morning sickness and I got the shot and then I had the fucking flu for 2.5 weeks.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Makes complete sense. It lowers your immunity completely. I mean,
yeah.
it changes everything. It changes your whole immune system.
I mean, not saying that I would not have gotten the flu anyways, but at least let my body go through the flu the way it's supposed to versus, you know what I mean, intensifying it.
Yeah, and like he was saying in that for the pregnant women, your brain is literally different when you're pregnant. Like you will do to protect you. And so I swear OBGYNs prey on that. Like they're just like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. If you don't, something bad's gonna happen. So then you're like, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah.
I don't know. People just like, they're just like, okay, you're saying my baby's gonna die or could die? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And how old is your youngest now? Last time he was 3 months.
7 months. Yeah.
7 months now.
Oh my goodness.
Good. Oh, chunky babies. I love chunky babies at 7 months.
Huge chunk and so happy and it's so sweet.
Ugh.
I'm not a newborn mom. I've figured this out. I just do not do good with the sleep deprivation. So once they get about 6 months, like I just become a new person because obviously I'm sleeping better. And then like they're just like, not that they're more fun, but yes, like they're interacting with you.
Yep.
You're getting the smiles, you're getting the, the clapping and the waving and, they're
the giggles and
it's just like a whole new world at 6 months. It's like, yes. To me, I'm not the newborn. I just know that about myself. I'm not.
You like some sleep and that's good. That's good. Yeah.
That was me too. I mean, for me, it was basically just like the baby wanted absolutely nothing to do with me until he could move.
Yeah. My husband just things like until they're like 1, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I mean, my baby's light up when he comes around, but it's like it's so different once they start like walking and doing the things. Then Dad is like, yes, okay, let's do it. Let's throw balls. Let's go play.
Yeah, that was definitely her.
Yeah,
it was definitely her.
I was like, what is my responsibility? Oh, my responsibility here is to make sure that Colleen is fine. Because if Colleen is fine, the baby will be fine.
Yes, take care of Mama.
And then I can live my life.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me go back to Grid League for a second. That was something we didn't get to dive into the last time that we were hanging out. And I'm going to be watching a full Grid League tournament because John Young his team is going against Julia
Cook's team.
Yeah, Mike Pool Boy's wifey. So we're gonna watch that and stream that a little bit with Jason CF Media and Pool Boy. what is the like, did you have a specialty? Were you a specialty player, or were you like a utility player? What is all of this?
I ended up being a utility player, and I ended up being like, it was awesome for me because like coming from gymnastics, short bursts, and then I was really strong. So I could do all the weights and do them really fast, and then I could do all the gymnastic stuff because I was a gymnast as well. So it's like I just became like this utility player of like was used in every single race. And so like after my first year, I found out I did more reps than anyone on the team.
Wait, who was on your team? Tell us who was on your team first, because you had some.
I had like Rachel Martinez, Annie Thor's daughter, Andrea Ager, Liz Adams, Danielle. What's her last name? Paul now, but like very good.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you remember any of the dudes?
Oh yeah, Easy, Muhammad, Matt Fraser.
Shit, man.
Yeah. Like we had Wes Kitts, Nick Block.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, like really awesome players.
Mm-hmm.
So
was Matt Fraser like, just sit down, I'll take care of all of this, and then like you can jump in when I'm tired?
I mean, he showed up like he was that utility player too because he was good at everything. Yeah, and so they're like I think before. So we were the first match in Madison Square Garden. Like we were the
shit, man.
But we were the straw that broke the camel's back because they spent way too much money doing that, and it just you know, not that one match made them go broke, but that was so awesome. Like it was like we played like Noah Olson's team. Like we played the LA Reign. We were the New York team. So like it was Noah Olson.
Oh, Holly, you represented for us? I love it. Let's go. I know Jeremy. She said Nick Block.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Nick the Needle Block. Yes, that one. Good call.
The Hoss. I mean, literally. But he like so we played like Lindsay Valenzuela's team like that. It was
shit.
Like it was so awesome. Like my parents came to New York. But like that, there's this like one iconic picture of me and Easy finishing the first race, and like they had, the media had picked us to lose completely, and so we came out like guns blazing that first match, and Annie and Frederick, I don't like because Frederick is part of the training plan, and like Yami and like they are an exact science type like people, and so they had our match like down to a T and like knew like times like to the second like what we had to do. And so that first race, like we come out and me and Easy cross the finish line, and like we like there's like veins like coming out of our neck, and like he picked me up and like you know basically like spun me around,
and
it was so you I think you can still find the match on YouTube, but it was so awesome. Like, and we came out and we won that whole match, but like that first race was like I'll never forget like the adrenaline I had in my body. It was like so awesome. So
what year?
This was 2015. Yeah,
this is the beast.
I think this was
205 pounds.
Yes. I think that was the first time I might have snatched 93 kilos. Like,
yeah. And you're what? You're
so excited. Like, yes, it was just like one of those days where you're by yourself in the gym and like you'd work so hard and you see a PR.
And you're like 5'1" and what, like 130 pounds?
Yes, 130. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're so bite-sized. I love it. This is insane.
Well,
you look amazing, girl.
My Instagram videos, like everyone says, like you look huge, and then when we see you in person, like you're so little, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Like I'm very little.
Oh, let me get to because I want to.
Kenneth, find it.
Yeah, that's fine. Kenneth.
That first year of Grid League was lit. Like all the athletes, I say lit because
it was lit.
All the athletes were in it, and like it was so awesome. Like.
I mean, you just named so many legends of the sport. Like, it was insane.
Yeah. And even like the lead up to it, like the combines, everything that we did, it was so fun. Like just And that they had a draft down in Florida. It was amazing. Just like the energy and the excitement over what could be was so cool. And like I said,
there's Chris Clover was on a team too.
yes, LA. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Oh, and I'm trying to see if this is like a highlight. I'm trying to see if I can find it. There's Annie.
Yep.
Well, can you pull it up or no?
Oh yeah.
Girl.
Sorry, I'm like watching it. I'm
Well, yeah. Can we get some love over here? What's happening right now?
Let me go back.
And like there were times like leading up to it, we had like 2 or 3 weeks.
There's Annie.
Yep, all together. And I think we were in New Jersey. We flew out there and we had like a huge training camp for 2 or 3 weeks before our first match in New York. And I mean, just the times that we got to spend together.
Chris Clover, you see her right there?
That was Lindsay Valenzuela.
Yep, Becky
Chris Clover, right there.
Oh, there she is. Yep.
Yep. Yes, that was just awesome.
Holy crap!
I mean, it was so awesome.
I think I saw that was Hackenberg.
Tommy?
Yes, Tommy Hackenberg.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, is that your team? That's Fraser right there.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Oh, let me see. Let me go back.
It must have been electric in Madison Square Garden.
It was really cool.
Look at those people.
There's Fraser in the front.
It was pretty packed out too, like for like how they had roped off the venue and everything. Like there were tons of people there. Everyone was excited. So I mean, it was just awesome.
That's so cool.
Oh, let me get to.
So excited for John Young. Like,
is that you?
Yes, that's me.
Oh yes,
there it is.
Yeah.
Sarah Beast.
Yes. Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, do that again. That was fire. Look at you with the handstand
like,
push-ups.
wait.
Bro.
I was
Let's
waiting.
go.
I was like, "Where's the blonde hair?"
You look little there.
Yes. Especially going next to a guy.
Let's go.
That was so fun. It's like you could choose whoever to do the implement. So like you would be going up against guys a lot of times. So that's like it's really cool to see like the variation. Yeah, there were so many big athletes that were a part of it.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yep, Jessica Phillips.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah,
you got a couple more seconds.
And we got or Danny Nichols. Yep, for team.
Pacelli. It was Pacelli.
There she is. Yep.
Irving Hernandez. He was on my team. Like he like the fastest double under in the world. Like there's so many specialists, that came in. And then they also gave like the first, I guess it was all the years masters, like you had to have 2 masters on your team. So 2 guys and 2 girls that were 40 plus.
Oh.
Yeah. So they had to be incorporated. Like there were some rules like they had to be incorporated into the match in certain ways. So that was cool, like giving them opportunity as well. But it was those times were so fun, and you got really close with. They were like, it wasn't like just our team. Like you got close, like because we ended up the subsequent years we ended up in one place. At like we would end up at one place for 2 or 3 weeks with all the teams. So you would get really close with like everybody. Like the 3rd year we did it, like it was in Utah. I think Dallin has talked about it a few times. Like he showed up as a teenager and like got Annie's picture and.
That's cool.
Yeah, but like we were there for like 3 weeks, basically doing all our matches at once. So kind of be like in one spot. They were trying to save money, obviously. And
yeah, towards the. So let's get to this one because we were talking about something else on the last time about the WFP and grid league comparisons. But KDL, what are her thoughts on early grid compared to this early WFP?
Yeah, it is eerily similar. Reminds me of like the money that they're putting forth, and that's the only thing that I'm like, oh, we've seen this happen before, and it's really attractive, especially for the athletes. Like you're gonna promise us money and all these things, and that was my thing. Is like I was working as a nurse, and I would have done anything to have like a salary so I could focus on training more. But I had to like obviously work my 12-hour shifts as a nurse and train as well. And so like to get into that ceiling of like the games athletes, like I just knew like I needed some outside money. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to go make money, which I mean, the money they were offering us is nothing like these athletes are getting now.
Right.
It's WFP, but it was still something. It was still something like that was helping me like maybe work one less shift, so that, but, and there was a promise of more. But that's the only thing, like, it just reminds me so much of this. And I think I've talked to Spin like behind the scenes about it. Like, just, it's so similar, like the money that they're throwing at this. And it's like, I hope it's sustainable because it definitely wasn't the first time
Do you
around.
think when we talked about it before, you said it was really, really something good for like the mid-level athletes that want to make a little bit of money to be able to train, to try to get to the games, do you think it would be more advantageous for like the early grid, or I mean even grid now, or the WFP to maybe just focus on those mid-level athletes? Like maybe that's your thing. Maybe you have those mid-level athletes, all their family members and friends and whatever can go pay to watch them. We'll go pay to watch the up and comers that are
Yeah.
coming onto the scene, and it gives them a little bit of money to not have to try to train for the games. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think the,
Yeah, that's
and
a feeder system.
yes, and I think the opportunity for those mid-level athletes to like bump in is huge. Not only for like your confidence, but like you said, the money wise, like it just, like I just knew all these top level athletes, they're getting paid by all these sponsors. So to me, I was like, please focus on us because like I would love, like I know I have the potential to be there and to be a top level, but like I had to work. Like
Yeah.
I had to live, So it's, yeah, I mean, yes, but at the same time I can see where these top level athletes are like, no, like pay us more.
Pay us the money. Yeah. I get that.
Well, because
And
you
because
hear a lot of them.
do it is because you have these pro athletes that are there. And like I said, I always believed that I could, on any given day, I can show up with Annie and I know I can throw down with her because I have.
Right.
I can keep up with her in workouts. And so I always had that belief, like, I'm not scared and intimidated by anybody that I'm going to show up to at the games. Like, I'm going to go and I'm going to throw down and I'm going to be able to like earn my spot. Like, I had that belief as well. And I feel like that's huge for these, like, I guess, challenger athletes that are looking to bump in and like make a paycheck. It is big. Like they are the ones, I'm telling you right now, they are the ones that do need the money because they're like the Lydia Fish who's got the job at, the country club working.
Yep. Yep.
She's got to live too and like make money. So, but yeah.
Well, you hear a lot of the athletes talk about the change that I think that they all experience when money started to become part of the conversation. Annie, in her interview that she did, she talked about like when she first got into it, like it wasn't about the money. It was just, she was a competitor. She, competed in this, and then she did dance, and then she changed this, and then she did this, and then she found CrossFit, and it was like she just was a competitor and just wanted to compete. And it wasn't about the money. It was about performing and becoming the fittest on earth. And so the conversation now has switched between give me more money. I need more money. This needs to be a professional sport. And it seems like, from all the noise, now again, we're just a bunch of people speculating. Nobody knows for real. But like, it seems like from all the noise, like it's not, they're all saying it's still the fight to become the fittest on earth.
Yeah.
But it seems more that it's about the money, because if that was the case, then I think it would just, like, the atmosphere would be different. And
It's a different generation.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen it because I've been around since the beginning. I mean, since the first, like, 2008 was when I started CrossFit. So I saw it. And I saw all these athletes come up. It's just different. Like Rich and Annie are cut from a different cloth. They're the OG, like I've said before, like Chase and Bill have touched on it. It was just like a different generation. And I don't know if like Pat and Brent's kind of era has ushered in like a new expectation. Like, and that's the thing. It's like we all
or Matt, because Matt very vocally
Yeah.
has said,
Yes.
this is my job.
Yeah.
This is my job. I'm here to make money for however many years I'm gonna do it, but this is a job for me to feed my family. And then after this, it's you know, whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was more Matt's kind of philosophy that really kind of changed the trajectory of what of where we are now?
Yeah, definitely. And but you saw it. I mean, like we were showing up to compete no matter what. We had almost everybody had jobs outside, like that were showing up to regionals, sectionals, all these things. Almost everybody had outside jobs, or you know, even Rich was like L1 and had his affiliate. So it's like it's just a different it's just a different era. And
those first couple,
sad because like I will always be loyal to CrossFit because like I was a part of that at the very beginning, and I saw it from the very beginning, and like die hard. Like I'm gonna do it till the day I die because I just love it.
Yeah.
And
one more thing, babe, but I didn't mean to cut you off or whatever. I think the bigger conversation is around exactly what you two were talking about is those middle level athletes. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you've seen our show with Tucker Macklemore. Love that man to death. He is amazing person, and he went to compete at semis, and he brought a crowd with him. Like his gym showed. I don't know if he did for both, but for one of them, like he was rolling in deep. People showed up for him, so people paid money for this.
Yes.
To go out and support him. They bought tickets, they paid for parking, they bought merchandise, they bought food. They're the ones that are funneling an event like this to help pay the overhead and all that type of stuff and whatever. I think that it's a missed opportunity for the everyday affiliate owners, athletes that are coming out of these affiliates that could be a substantial income per se for CrossFit, for these other, for the CrossFit season, you know? And so maybe it is one or two events. And again, and this is a plethora of money because obviously every event you put on, you need to have money. And I'm not talking that I don't understand that, but like, what a cool opportunity to have the games and then have something for the athletes that didn't make it to the games, but some sort of competition.
Yeah.
To like potential, you know what I mean? Like they're
like I said, I'm like knocking on the door every year.
Yeah, like they're focused on the open, and I get that because the open is supposed to be it's the lowest cost, and ideally it used to bring in the most people. But isn't there something else that they could also do that kind of takes it to the next level where it's like maybe it's the semi-athletes that like just missed it. Maybe that 5 through 10 at each semi and go throw them somewhere.
That's why it'd be cool if the
you know what I'm saying? Or something like the WFP did.
If the WFP was actually a feeder system or like.
Yeah, exactly. Like it. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And well, and I mean, I know the game season changes every year, but like the regionals era was so awesome because it was like that one. So like say ours was in like Jacksonville or Atlanta, but like everyone showed up, like all your affiliates from the Southeast. And it was like this huge reunion, this huge party. I mean, packed. You could not like walking distance, like bumping shoulders, like with everybody at regionals. Like it was the place to be. And so now, like, I hate this. Not that I hate the structure, but at the same time, like you're not getting the participation from everyone showing up because it's like a dime a dozen. Versus like it was like this one time a year, this party where like everyone shows up, and it was like that literally from the beginning when we had the first regional like in 2010 in Jacksonville.
Girl, are you sure it wasn't that everybody was showing up to your regional because it was the Rich Froning regional?
Yeah, who's this guy that's showing up? It was incredible. Like but the region, like there was something to it, obviously, because everybody showed up and there was this huge buy-in from affiliates and from like, even, I mean, my crew would show up with Sarah Beast on shirt. I mean, packed house, like 20, 30 people at least would come to see me throw down. And like,
yeah, remember Sweeney when he was like,
his hat,
when he was trying to break into the CrossFit games, and everybody had his like face plates and his cowboy hat and whatever. Like that was crazy fun.
So like Easy, what used to train at a gym here. So he used to live here. And so there's this huge, like, obviously we have a huge family for him here. And so when the Masters games last year was in Birmingham, like he had a whole crew from here just show up.
Love that.
And help, support him because he was coming back to Alabama. But it's just, they could structure it a little bit better to get the buy-in from the affiliates and or get those semi-athletes. And I do think that's the whole point of having like these semifinals, is to get these like up and coming athletes to be able to show up, to like get them to punch their ticket. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Do you, this might be a little spicy question. This might be a little spicy question, but do you feel like, and I'm trying to find the right words.
We're not spicy, baby. Calm down.
I'm a little bit sometimes. Have the elite athletes kind of lost the sparkle, I guess you could say? Because like what you're saying is that you had a crew that followed you when you competed somewhere that obviously was local and made sense. Tucker had a crew that followed him to some place to go watch him compete because that's their coach, that's their affiliate owner, that's their dude, like whatever. There's this whole idea around the WFP that some of the athletes that were picked was because of how many followers they had. So they were expecting that one athlete, say I'm an athlete and I have 3 million followers on my Instagram. The notion is, or the thought is, the shining light is, those 3 million people that follow me are going to come to all of these events.
Ooh-wee.
So talking about the way it used to be, talking about the way the regionals, I mean, we went to regionals in 18 in Albany, as Tyler Watkins says it. And it was packed. Like there were so many people there. Yeah, there were the elite athletes, but like the feeling was different. So do you feel like that the elite athletes now that are doing this as a profession have kind of lost that sparkle of being the reason why people actually want to go to the games or want to go to these events, and maybe why the seats aren't being filled so much? Because if I'm going to watch an elite athlete, for instance, and babe, you can speak to this about like sports, like if you were going to watch Michael Jordan, you want Michael Jordan to show up as Michael fucking Jordan that day. You don't want him to
he did.
But
let me tell you,
some of these
he didn't
athletes,
miss a game,
right?
And he showed up like Michael Jeffrey fucking Jordan,
right? So you expect that. What we're seeing in some of these events, and sorry, I'm going like around and around and around, but I will land this plane, I promise.
Golden Girls,
I love them; they're the best. You have these athletes that are going to multiple events and they're not really showing up the way that we want them to go. But your crew is showing up to watch you because they know you're going to go fucking throw down, and they know that you're going to go, light the floor. And same thing with Tucker. He's going to go light the floor.
Yeah. I think that was, like I said, going back to like regionals, like that was like the magical thing that it had. Like we've talked, I think people have said this before, the athletes were so invested in the affiliate before too. Like it wasn't, maybe it was their full-time job, but they were still training at their affiliate, that people saw them every day. But now like they have these warehouses or they're going into a back, they're doing their own thing all the time, and they're not really invested in the community. And that's what, like, I would love these athletes to be more like, just go to a class sometimes. Like,
right.
It's so fun. And you know what? You're still going to get a great workout. Like no
I
matter.
forget who it was, but someone said, I mean, it might have been Fakowski or someone else. Like they used to plan their schedule for the week and see if a class kind of matched up to where they were for that week, where, you know, say it's handstand push-ups and double unders, for instance, maybe for, you know, a professional athlete, they need to increase the number, make it more difficult. Maybe it's a deficit handstand push-up instead of a regular or a strict handstand push-up or something like that to make it, you know, beneficial for their particular training, but they're still in the community. They're still in the affiliates, you know, like you said, bumping elbows, sweating with, giving a knuckle at the end of it, congratulating someone after, you know what I mean? Or running outside with someone, helping that last person finish a mile run or something.
Yeah, that's, to me, that is the funnest part. Like, and like just being involved in the community, like in the classes, like seeing people, like most of the people don't even know, like do not even know what I've done. And I mean, I'm not even there looking there for recognition. I'm just there to get a good workout. But like they inspire me so much. And like talking with people and just getting to know people and being invested in their lives, and like how we have this common this CrossFit is common belief and this common thing that we do and we suffer together. Like it just goes so far. I love what the affiliate is doing. And if these athletes, like, I feel like that's the answer, is like get back into the affiliates, get back involved with your community. Like, and I think their following would grow so much if they were like doing more stuff in the affiliate, showing their affiliate, like showing the people in their affiliate, like but I do think it's like this shiny objects, and sometimes like there's this disconnect between, like it's become like maybe a barrier now. Like Instagram has become too, like they've got
Instagram's a hot mess.
Yes, 3 million followers, and it's all ads. It's nothing real. And so like there has become this disconnect. Like maybe maybe I can show up to support XYZ athlete, but like I know they're not going to talk to me. They're going to be totally focused on, you know, only what they're doing. Which, I mean, you know,
yeah, let's say
I can understand it, but like,
I mean, if it's
I feel like there is disconnect. There's not, like I said, back to the affiliates, like where you have this huge buy-in from like your whole community back home, and you know, like everybody's rooting for you, even if they're there or they're not.
I'm gonna shoot a question. Hold on, I want to shoot a question at you guys real quick, but I have to do this for who was it? Was it the original Steve? Yeah, this is for you, the original Steve Miller. What is this? Why does LeBron James have a purse walking into it? What is happening? That is not Michael Jordan. What is like what?
Oh,
how did we get here?
Yeah.
Somehow we got here. Look at them pants. What's going on?
Listen, the outfit that
those
he
pants
got
fashion?
So much praise for were the shorts and the short suits,
bro,
where he had shorts on and a suit jacket with those high socks.
That was horrible.
Oh my gosh,
that was absolutely freaking horrible.
Matt Torres fashion.
Oh wait, here's the other one. Oh no,
Matt Torres fashion.
Wait, hold on. Original Steve Miller, this is for you. I hope someone tells you that I'm doing this right now, because I'm absolutely going to do this right now. But this is what you're talking about. This is the NBA fashion then versus now. I can't play the music. He'll get dinged.
I've seen this, and it's like absolutely insane.
AI. What is that?
What is that? What is that?
What is happening?
Like, it's so bad.
It's horrific.
What is that?
Or maybe I've seen it like with the NFL, like walking into the Super Bowl,
no.
and like a throwback.
Dude, Dwayne Wade. No, zesty.
What?
Y'all zesty as hell. Yeah, you gotta go OG. Something happened.
What is happening?
Okay, I'm good. All right, that was for you, the original Steve Miller.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
They all lost bets.
I mean, it could be.
Oh god.
But going back to what you were saying, is that if they put in the effort before game day, then the fans would understand that they're not available for game day. And I think that is where the disconnect is happening. A lot of them are unable, don't have time, call it unwilling to make any sort of effort to connect with anybody before game day. Like, and I love how you said that. And I said that the other day, like, a simple hello goes a long way. A simple handshake goes a long way. A congratulations goes a long way. Like, I have made so many relationships in this town of everybody coming out here in the summer simply by just being a nice person and saying hello. Like, and then that opens doors for other possibilities and opportunities that I have with certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that if there was a little bit of effort, and I'm talking about finishing their workout and hanging out at the affiliate for 10 minutes after class and saying hello to a couple people before they leave. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if you do the work before game day is game day. And they would understand that, but they're trying to do everything on game day. The fans want their attention, they want their time, they want their autograph, they want pictures, and they don't have time for that because it's game day and they're trying to show up for game day.
No, you got time for that for game day. We used to watch like Rich Froning and all of them, Annie, like they all signed autographs for hours and shit after.
So I love how I think Sousa did it one time about they expect something now, like the how they've gone from like we're gratitude to, you know.
I loved that one. Yes. I loved that. Yep.
So I think it's become like this expectation now. Like, well, I'm a professional athlete. Like,
I think the new group's getting back to it. Like, I think the Dallins, the Spriggs.
I'm hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful. But to me, it's like you never want to lose sight of like the people that got you where you were, like where you are to this day, and like you, like even the top, even like Tia. Like she constantly praises Shane and her family, and like they are the ones that like helped me so much get to where I'm going. And like that's what I think about like my affiliate that I trained at, and like those people like that sacrificed for me, or like set up my bar, set up my camera, or
came and hung out with you during the open, stayed later, shouted for you, cheered for you, brought you food, probably like
bought a t-shirt.
Yep.
Did the judges course.
Yep.
People like you have to think behind the scenes, and I think like there's a lot of like glitz and glam, but you have to constantly go back to like, okay, how did you get to this point? You know, and we have to remember like and be thankful like where CrossFit started, and that it started to begin with, and that we have a games, and that like that I think all of those things, if we go back to like the gratitude of it, like they could take that so far. And
what do you think about this theory? I have this theory about what you guys are kind of like talking in and out about, but the
yes,
oh yeah,
Jeremy.
That's right, that's what it was. I think there's a couple more in there.
Yeah.
But I have this theory that the high level athletes for the WFP it might end up being too many events for them. You've already kind of seen how it's been said. So I have this feeling that they're going to kind of like shy away from the WFP anyway. And the mid-level athletes will get prioritized. They will start getting that contract money.
Yeah. And, or, it's going to fold because they're not.
Yeah, that's the other option, but
they're not attracting the pros, and like, you know, or they're not putting butts in seats. I mean, you got to like pay, you got to be able to pay and sustain somehow. Like if you're not getting butts in seats and selling tickets and all this stuff, like did they?
I thought the only thing did they? I only heard the only thing I heard about being canceled had something to do with track and field. They tried.
Isn't there like a location or
no? But I don't know. I have no idea. Stay tuned to the rest of all the Sevon podcasts to find out if that's true or not, because I do not know. So,
I think, back to,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
Where were we going? I'm sorry.
I don't know, but
It's all good.
I
That's
think
gonna fold. You said it was.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
fold.
that's gonna fold.
Yeah,
It's not sustainable. Butts and seats.
and back to the competing all the time. Like,
Oh yeah.
no, this is not like you cannot compete at this high level, or like where's the margin for you to get better? If you're competing 11 times a year, you are not moving the needle to get better. And maybe they're fine with that. They're happy with their income, whatever, from sponsorships. They're still staying top 10, top 20 at the games. They're still whatever in the WFP. Like they're still able to make it and they're happy with that. So, but where are you moving the needle to get better every year? Because somebody's coming to take your spot. Okay. So, and like, if they change the season structure again, there's not going to be all these opportunities where like, oh, if I don't do online semis, then I can just go here and I can pick and choose. I feel like eventually there will be some accountability and be like, no, you have to show up and you have to win it. And like, that's your opportunity. So, it's interesting. I don't think it's sustainable as far as like them competing 11 times a year. Like that takes such a toll on your body. And
I mean, you look like wasn't Alex Gazan was on the show this morning? Is she WFP?
Yeah, won it.
And
she won it, yeah.
Oh, right. And then she got her spot to the games, and then 10 minutes later, she's driving home with her husband, gets hit by a car, and now.
But she was so smart about her season so far. They had structured it out, so she knew I'm going to do WFP, and I'm only going to do NCC, and that's going to separate it out. I'm going to peak for there. That's my opportunity. I'm not going to do online semis. I'm not going to tire myself out. I'm not going to do all these other things. And so she had it like really structured out, and then she's going to do like the second WFP event, and then she's going to do the games. So it's like, that was really smart versus like, well, like.
But again, that goes out. Okay, sorry, I'm bringing it full circle. That goes back to her and her husband did absolutely everything right for her well-being, her safety, her injury, her whatever, and then life happens.
Yes.
So like now, do you never get in a car again and drive anywhere?
Right. Like no. Yeah.
Trying to tie it all back together.
It's something to consider. Like, and I mean, that was Matt when he competed. He's out saying like, I was testing everyone that showed up at my door. I did not want to get COVID, and I did not want it to end my season. I was, I wouldn't hold a knife. I think.
Yeah, he was wrapped in bubble wrap, right? Like for sure.
Everything was riding on that paycheck at the end of the year, and he said he needed it. So, but that was, he was competing the one time. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Annie said that in her interview that she did. She goes, she had to change her own training plan. Like she was doing Metcons 2 or 3 times a day and then realized that her body could not sustain that. And with her and her coach and whatever, like they figured out what they needed to work on, and they would do Metcons, maybe once or twice a week, maybe, and then rev that up a little bit when it gets closer. She's like, but for any sort of like Metcon, she would do it in EMOM, like breakdowns, like 1 minute. So she's like, it was complete control. It wasn't just me going for speed and going for time and trying to throw myself against the wall. It literally was methodical as to how I was going to train this. I needed to work multiple things in a Metcon kind of sort of thing, but it was always an EMOM until she got closer to the games. Imagine doing all of this like 6 weekends in a row. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And it's not just, it's like, the intensity is that's what will eat you up, and like emotionally jacking yourself up for that many events over the course of a weekend, like it just takes it's a mental, physical, emotional toll. And even like, so I'll give you all an example. So the 3 weeks, the 30-year grid league, the 3 weeks we were in Utah, we had like a lot of matches like back to back. Like we would have, maybe a day or two in between. But like I ended up getting like altitude sickness. And I lost like 5 pounds, which on my frame is like a lot.
Yeah.
But like I could not recover like to go that hard and do as much as I was doing. Like if you were only going in for like 1 or 2 races, like you're fine. But like the doing this stuff, like I almost like could not recover fast enough. And we even had like days in between. So I mean that's just one example of like what they could experience this year. And like I'll go back to I'll die on this hill, like where are you getting better? Because like there's people come and take your spot. Like people want to be at the games, and like you need to constantly be getting better. And like you're not going to be if you're competing that many times. Like this competing versus training, and that I think that's what Amy was getting back to. It's like you don't compete, but like getting ready for game day versus like you're training so different. It's a different mindset. It's EMOMs. It's controlled. And I think like Hiller's video of like, or maybe he posted it on his story or something. He was saying like he was showing Dallin and Fee and Hopper, and he was like, this is the majority of their training. It was like shoulder mobility.
Yeah.
Plyometrics and stretching. And he was like, this is 90% of their training. And it really is like to keep them healthy and like to keep their bodies operating at that level.
That's why I think it would be cool if CrossFit did had a feeder, you know what I mean? Like a G League for basketball. It would be cool because then you would have and I'm not even going to say the WFP, I don't want to piss anybody off, but like if they had another league like that, similar to it, and you had like the mid-range athletes that just want to train, get better, have practice competing in big settings or whatever. Or you want to have like the people that are kind of at their end of the career. They know they're not going to come top 20 at the games, and but they still want to keep competing and finish out their career in this G League kind of setting thing, something like that.
And I think that was kind of the hope for like Grid League as well. Like there were talks of like the states having their own.
I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't want to say the WFP because I don't want to offend anybody. Like, I'm sure I will though.
That was the whole thing with Grid League is like they were going to have like smaller leagues, and that was the whole thing is like they were going to into the pros. And I wish CrossFit would do something like that. That would be awesome. I mean, I felt like they should have already done that. And maybe that's where WFP is giving this opportunity, for
kind of, but not really.
But not
really.
Can't really earn points, right? To get
you can't. Yeah. They're not trying to work. We obviously saw that. They're not actually trying to work with CrossFit. So like they're never.
Maybe that's where CrossFit has learned, or maybe it was Dave, that they saw the stance that they took with Grid League, and they were like, well, maybe we should see what they're about this time. And that's why they had like an openness to see. But what he said about, them not playing nice, but like maybe they learned their lesson last time. Like, well, you don't need to draw a line in the sand and say like, oh, you can't do this. But yeah, so.
All right, lady. Well, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We always love you always have like so many extra stories that we've never heard.
I've lived a lot of lives.
You've lived a lot of lives. You definitely have.
I enjoy our conversations. It's awesome.
I definitely did not mean to get on CrossFit for a full 90 minutes, but like,
hey, we can go anywhere,
It's a good time. It's fun. So yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side. Hopefully, like we're going to the games in the beginning of August, and then hopefully after that we'll get to have you back on and hang out and
y'all enjoy the games. Live it up.
Girl, I'm gonna be texting you the whole time. Like, what the F am I looking at right now? Yeah, I can't wait.
Excited. Yeah. But let's do this again. She said you had some stuff you wanted to talk about with me, questions or whatever. So
yeah, we're gonna do.
I'm an open book, so
we're gonna do.
Want to know?
We're gonna do the religion thing. We're gonna try to help Colleen find Yeshua, and
he's got you. He's already got
you. So yeah, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. Jan, Dion, tell Jake I did see the sausages in the beginning, but I didn't get to answer him.
Mhm.
Papa Birch.
You still need to send me those pictures, those thumbnails. Jan.
Oh yeah,
when you're in
Jan,
there.
send the thumbnails, bro.
Thanks.
Send the thumbnails. Jeremy, always good to see you, dude.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Saw Megan.
Yes.
KDL, love you guys. Thank you,
Mhm.
Joseph, always for hanging out with us and sending me all the crazy
Papa Birch.
the crazy memes and reels. I do really much
Kevin.
appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
We'll see
all
you
for
next
hanging
time.
out.
You got to end it, babe.
I know. Oh, deuces.
Bye.